Right, we'll see how this goes. Don't know if it's live or not. Think it might be live. Seems to think it's live. so yeah, I've got no sort of preview. I don't know if it's running or not, but we'll see. Let me actually go to the live stream. Let's see if it's actually working. Oh, I am live. See, the YouTube dashboard is doing nothing at all. Literally nothing. So I have no idea if I'm live. Hey, there we go. Good. At least there's people watching. Do you know what? I'm going to turn this rubbish off then. It's doing literally nothing at all. Bye bye, YouTube dashboard. Right. Yes, it is jam time. Hasn't it gone quickly? I thought we'll do it on YouTube this time just to get that last minute bit of visibility. And why not? You know, I have a bit of an audience on YouTube. I know we do these sort of cozy streams on Twitch and on the Discord server periodically, but I thought, why not? Let's do a nice big YouTube one. And this is one of those awkward times of the year where for 10 minutes, I've got nothing to do. I just sit here awkwardly whilst people accumulate, waiting for me to click a button that reveals the theme of the jam. I've got a nice mug of tea to go with it this time as well. So we've got quite a lot of people watching. Normally I would shout out hello to everybody individually, but there's already too many. Good. I know a lot of you might be thinking, wow, he's still alive. There he is. He doesn't do very many videos anymore. Well, I'm sorry about that. It's just life. I have to be an adult now. It's just how it is. I can't just sit around coding all day, every day, except for the next week, which I've taken off work to participate in the jam. Now, because I have a bit of a head start, obviously, I can't win, so don't worry about that. Anyway, if you've not yet registered, go over to the CodeJam page. Here it is. Go and register straight away. There's lots of hearts scrolling up my screen. Is this good or bad? I don't know. Right, let's have a look at the chat. What a great time for an 11-minute 24. Exactly, yeah. A good time. Why starting it during GMTK? Well, it's, you know, why have they started when we're having our jam? Flipping heck. Right, okay, everybody, the guy to beat this year is Joshua there. He's run it for the last, I think, 2 years running. So this is no good. We need somebody to knock him off his throne, please. Right, this is modern behaviour. Like your clickbait must be. Oh no, yeah. Do you know the thumbnail for the theme that got lots of abuse? Yeah, I don't think many people understood the joke at all. They they thought that was legit. I got one guy that complained, "You need to fire your thumbnail guy. He's really let you down this time." I thought, oh, that's nice. He thinks I'm a massive YouTuber with a thumbnail guy. I put loads of quality effort into that thumbnail. Oh, Kieran's here as well. So, if you have not done a code jam before, it's very similar to a normal game jam, but it doesn't have to be a game. And most people go, oh, it's always a game jam. Well, the theme is quite vague this year, so I think there'll be some scope to have non-game submissions. Yeah, it was high quality clickbait. I mean, if you're going to do clickbait, you've got to do it right. Let's have a quick look, because I think there's a lot of names here that I don't normally get to see. Oh, got hello from Belarus. Oh, hello. I've got some friends from Belarus. Let's have a look. Oh, it's the Kieran, yes. Morris, Josh, say no, say no. Well, the GMTK jam is going to be very large. It always is, because it's a good jam, and it's interesting to sort of see that community. I actually know one or two people from that community, so I know that they're going to be participating. But we have our own little jam. It's a week earlier than usual this year round. Why is that? Well, combination of things. It's coincides with when I can actually get some time to participate, because I really enjoy doing it. Normally when I host the jam, the biggest excuse I get for people not doing it is, oh, I'm just moving to university that week. I can't take part. So I thought, well, we'll bring it forwards a week and see how we go this year. Oh, Johnny G is here. That's good. Yeah, it's a good short jam. See, that's the other thing with the OLC code jams, is they are about 9 days of jamming activity, which I think is a good amount of time. I think that it's fun. I quite like the speed coding events. I quite like doing, you've got to do something in 24 hours or a weekend. I do. But at the same time, if I want to do something polished, I've found that the code jams are the way for me to do it. And anybody nervous about taking part in a jam, really don't be. Right? This is the most forgiving community. You'll see in the past jams that we've had hundreds and hundreds of entries, and the quality has been really low and really high, and it doesn't really matter because everybody just gets rated by the same criteria. And we've had some surprising wins, and we've had some surprising breakout successes across the Discord. So, oh yeah, it would be useful if you could be on the Discord server. By the way, that's a good way to exchange information and form teams and all sorts. The chat is going a lot faster than I'm used to the chat going. So Voxel is here. Voxel is famously, I don't think you've ever actually finished anything for these jams, have you? Just checking before the deadline, do the teams have every register? The easiest way is you create your itch page probably under one account, but just make sure that you credit the people that are on your team. And whilst we're talking about credits and licenses and things like that, it's important stuff to think about. Obviously, this year is probably the first year that people are going to start exploiting artificial intelligence. Now, I have mixed opinions about that. I'm not going to outright sort of say no, there is no artificial intelligence allowed, because it's not going to go away. It's here. We have to adapt to it, whether we like it or not. So from that point of view, I think that's okay, but please state if your artwork is generated by some sort of generative language model or something like that. So I think that's probably the fairest way to go about doing it. Obviously, don't steal anything from other people. If you got the license to use the assets, then that's fine. Make sure you credit the people that you need to credit. Likewise, if you're using any libraries, any game engines, be open and honest about it too. That will actually, most of the time, improve people's score when they actually see that you're using community stuff, you're using open source, you're using all these things, and you're doing it correctly. That's important to a lot of people, not just me. So just to state that again, there is no outright ban on using any AI assets in this, but just please declare that you have done so. I think that's the fairest way we can get through this. So again, it's awkward time of the year. Those people are joining now. I've kind of got 10 minutes to fill, or 5 minutes now, of nothing other than just me talking and drinking this cup of tea. On a Friday night, you can tell the nerds, can't you? I don't know what the latency is like, because I haven't got any sort of dashboard. The YouTube dashboard was a complete failure. I don't usually stream on YouTube. I do quite a bit on Twitch and certainly on Discord. And my intention is actually to do some streams during the jam. I was hoping I'll stream some of my own stuff. I'm going to be taking part. But I thought it might be quite nice if we could coordinate at some point during the jam. Perhaps a stream where people can join in and show their progress so far. Now, that might be something I have to arrange on the Discord, but we'll see how it goes. Sing a song. How's live jabbing? I'm okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not particularly good at time. Did we all watch the Olympics this year? I thought it was a bit, it was okay. I quite enjoyed the Olympics, but some of the events, I thought I watched the break dancing and I had no idea what was going on. But do you know what was interesting is I had no idea what was going on, but I could tell some were better at it than others. Now, what's that all about? I have no idea how that works in my brain. Anyway. Let me catch up on some of these chats here. Hopefully you can all hear me properly. I've not got my face sort of shoved in the microphone as I usually would. Go and register to join the jam if you haven't already. I know you can join any time during the next 9 days. It would be nice to sort of see 300 people. One of the things, it's nice when I do things like this because as the channel isn't winding up in any way. I know some people care about these things. I just don't have as much time to make content as I used to. For those that don't know, I do work full time, and I now have a family, and it's just my hobby coding time has gone from about 60 hours a week to about 6. I know that sounds extreme, but that's really what's happened. So it's really reassuring that when I can come on live and actually start to see some still large audiences want to somehow associate themselves with something that I've put together. But this jam is not about me, it is about the community, and is always yielded some absolutely brilliant stuff. Now, I know in the past I've sort of made claims that we'll put some videos out of the jam entries. I'm not going to necessarily claim I'm going to do that, but I think because we've not had a showcase this year of any description, certainly some jam entries will be included in it before the end of the year. So, Olympic breakdancing alter egos there saying, Do you like C#? Mixed, mixed bag. I'm currently having to use C# for a project I'm doing at work. Do I like it? No. Do I like the development tools? Yes. Do I like some of the architectural patterns that it enforces upon me? No. Do I like its performance? It's not bad. But the thing that I'm really exploiting out it right now is I have one code base that works exactly the same on Android and Windows, which is excellent for the product I'm developing. You're not using your video voice. Yeah, some people think that when I go live. Oh, Voxel's already rage quit there with a donation. Thank you very much. This is how Voxel intends to win, by the way. I just get lots of. What about Rust? Oh, thank you, Voxel. That's very kind. What about Rust? Yes, you can do a jam entry in Rust if you want. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Do you like Delphi and Pascal? I do, actually. In fact, I used to go on... Well, when I was a teenager, I went to night school to learn Turbo Pascal. Pretty scary, isn't it? Being a dad is tough, but it's a blessing. It's brilliant. I like it. By the way, can you temporarily mute Voxel? No. No, not anymore. I could have done until about 20 seconds ago. Oh, I've got some sort of notifications popped up. I don't even know what's streaming that because I can't even see it on anything. That's appeared out of somewhere. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? What about Python? Oh, we're getting down to the time, by the way. What about Python? I'm not a big Python user. People know I'm a bit of a Lua fanboy. Turbo C++? Yes, of course I enjoyed Turbo C++. The first time you get your EGA and CGA graphics up and running in a Turbo C++ environment, it's one of those moments that you'll remember for the rest of your life. It's very nerdy, this chat, isn't it? The Streamlabs depulse. I don't know how loud things might be because I've not got my headphones on at the moment. Oh, right, we're down into the seconds now, aren't we? Now, how am I going to make any of this work? I hope it does work. Because I don't know what the stream latency is either, so let's have a... Make sure everything's ticking over. So we've got currently about... Oh, good. So we've got 223 people have joined the jam and about 220 people viewing the stream. Oh, that's good. So hopefully we'll all get to see. What about Visual Basic 6? I loved Visual Basic 6. I learnt DirectX in Visual Basic 6. That's how I learnt about the DirectX API. Delay is about 20 seconds. This is meant to be a low latency stream, according to YouTube. Right, okay. So we're getting close, I think, now, so I'm going to sort of click over to the other screen. We'll see how it goes. And the theme for the 2024 Code Jam is Run. See, I told you it was a really, really vague theme this year. So we can think about games that involve running, we can think about apps that involve running, we can run simulations, we can run businesses, we can run away, we can run towards. There's all sorts of things, as long as your theme somehow incorporates the word and theme of run and running, or doing something to do with run, then it is a valid submission into the CodeJam 2024. I was reading here some of the suggestions. Just get your project to run. So really quite an open theme this year. So I think that we should have lots of entries, I think. If you make an app that runs instead of crashing, it's done. Well, I think I think we probably need to do a little bit more than just something that executes, but... So there we go. That's the theme for this year. Hopefully it's very very amenable. I think it's pretty good. I think that some of the game programmer people will be quite excited about that. I think there's a lot of scope for things. It doesn't completely rule out more tooling and simulations. So I think it should be a reasonably good theme. And you may have noticed the themes are a little bit selfish. I have taken up running in the last year, and it's become a hobby that I've enjoyed, mainly because it gets me out of the house, but also it's really improved my health. My times are not good because my power to rate ratio is not good, but in the last 9 months I've run a total of 575 kilometers. So there's that. So yeah, you could easily get some tooling done with this one. I don't think there's a way for me to sort of bring my lovely face back onto the screen whilst the theme is there. So whilst the theme is on the screen at the moment, I'll keep chatting away, but I'll need to update the itch page with what the theme is. So I will, do you know what? I'm just going to grab a screenshot and literally somehow post that into the itch window whilst the theme is on the screen. So people in the chat, let's have what we've got some ideas at the moment. Anybody thinking that it's too hard? This is not a possible jam that they can enter. I'd be very surprised if that's the case. So let me just put this right at the top of the itch page whilst we're waiting for this. There we go. Theme is run, and I'll put the picture as well. Not very good. There we go. Let's save the jam page. Save jam. You're too heavy to run. Good, so it's not a terrible theme then. I don't think. Notice the audience numbers dropped immediately. There's the theme. Hopefully they've gone running away, squirreling away as quickly as possible to start working on the jam entry. Make sure that the theme is correct. Oh, no, the theme doesn't. No, the insertion on the itch page looks like a complete mess. That's no good, is it? Let's try that again. It's inserted an image in the editing box, but oh, I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to have to sort all that out later. Basically inserted the raw binary into the itch page. That's strange. Well, let's try that again then. Let's try harder. Now, I'm going to stay on the line for a little bit because I thought I'd talk you through potentially some of my entries, things that I'll be working on. Let me just save this file off, and that way I can fix the jam homepage. Now it's all broken. Edit jam. Theme is run, but I guess I want to select everything and delete everything. So there's nothing left in that box now. Who knows? Who knows? Image, desktop. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Run. There we go. Uploading, and hopefully that should be the theme. Looks like I'm going to have to put all the text back at some point, because all that's disappeared as well. It's awkward, isn't it? Right, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is fixing the itch page. Great. Thank you, itch. Right, so the theme is up and running. Anyway, so you've got until... I can go back to the normal screen now, can't I? Let's go back to... There we go. Whoa, had all sorts of itch calamity things going on then. Yeah, it looks like the itch just completely collapsed. When I tried to upload this image, it just all fell apart. So we've lost all of the text for the entry. Thank you, itch. But we'll get around to that later on. I can fix it. People can see what the theme is, and we also want to stick some links on there for the Discord server and that sort of thing as well. I'll sort that out in a minute. Is having a Windows version a requirement? No. It does help if people can easily run your submission. So how do people go about doing that? Usually they come up with a way of making it work in the browser. That can be quite complicated, so don't necessarily feel that that excludes you from taking part. We do have a lot of Linux and Mac users. And typically what might happen is for the submissions which we know are going to be potentially a bit troublesome for people, we usually get some volunteers setting up a virtual machine and they'll run those applications and see what happens. Usually on a live stream too, so lots of people can actually see that submission and then go away and vote on it as necessary. Good. So the theme isn't terrible. Hopefully some people on the Discord server have started spreading the word what the theme is. Might as well do a 5k to get the brain gears turning. Exactly, right? We should all be doing our 5ks first thing in the morning. So good, good, good. Now, I've interpreted the theme as I'm going to be doing a small game, maybe. I've not quite worked out where I'm going with it entirely yet, but I tend to use the jams to sort of either finish off a bit of technology or test out some new ideas that I've been working on. And one of the things I wanted to try and finish off a bit more sort of robustly this year was the Geometry 2D library, but also it's interesting. I've got a different audience, and that's why I'm hesitating. Because a lot of people that follow me sort of regularly on Twitch will understand the things that we've been working on. But there is in the background, Pixel Game Engine 3 is being developed. It's not ready yet, but it works fundamentally on sort of vector-based graphics as well as regular pixel things. And so I've wanted to do a vector-based application, just to try and push these two technologies together. I'm surprised the latency is so slow. It's a bit disappointing in YouTube, really, that it's that slow. Right, so I'll keep the stream up and running for a little bit anyway. So I've actually got a Visual Studio instance. There we go. Ta-da! Look, code. Yes, I do actually code live sometimes. I've got two screens. Let's get rid of that one. We don't need that one open at the moment. And at the moment, it's a Pixel Game Engine 2 thing, and I'm just doing some very basic things with it at the moment. I've not even got a structure or an idea. I just wanted to get some basic things down. And so the last couple of nights, I sort of hacked all of this together. You see, it looks like quite a lot. But let's have a look at what actually this is. And it's just going to puzzle everybody when they see any of this. I have to remember how to control it. Right, so what I've got here, firstly, is a circle, which I can control with the arrow keys. No, on its own, that's not very impressive. But I've got, as you can see, two triangles on the screen as well. Yes, no hexes this year. Sorry if the latency is really bad, but that's what you can see. So the idea, the first thing I wanted to make sure was, can I get some sort of collision detection working well in this environment? And the answer is yes, I can. And I'm using the Geometry 2D library to do it. Now, one of the things I wanted to experiment with was sort of actual traction of sort of objects and things in generalized sort of polygon environments. So for me, this is really the technology that I want to be playing with. So if I put this thing down here, for example, and start it walking, you can see it can pull itself along rather scarily. It's pretty horrible, but it can pull itself along the surface. Now it's going to transition to this other surface in a minute, and it's not particularly elegant as it does so, because at the moment the shape itself doesn't actually rotate. And yes, it should be using some sort of inverse kinematics to handle sort of collisions and things. So that's why it kind of looks like it's walking when it's on the surface, you see. But it's definitely a work in progress at the moment. But nonetheless, I thought it was pretty cool that it might be quite nice to have potentially, I was thinking, a whole bunch of spiders or something like that you have to run away from. But the thing for me really is this sort of arbitrary 2D platforming collision. which we do lots of things with tiles and we do lots of things with circles and tile maps, but in reality the type of games I'm now interested in developing have moved very much away from tiles into sort of large areas of constructed polygons. Now if you follow any of the Twitch stuff that I'm doing, you'll know that I'm building a two-dimensional editor to help me sort of develop the assets for these kind of applications. So at the moment this is it. This is the fledgling, the beginnings of my 2024 CodeJam entry. It's a bit weird, it's a bit strange. It's kind of like it's had all of its other legs plucked off and it's just desperately trying to escape. Two triangles profound, exactly. Now you can see it doesn't quite get this bit right, and that's because the body of the object hasn't orientated yet. And as you can see, basically it moves forwards whenever it's in collision. So it's a hack just to make it look like it's kind of working. But I will sort that out. One of the nice things is the collision detection is actually pretty good. Now the collision detection is entirely vanilla Geometry 2D library, so you know it's all there. And for jams, these are the sort of libraries you should be looking into using to get your things done quickly. Yoink! There we go. So that is so the most basic inverse kinematic joint you can get. In fact, it's entirely solvable. That's why it's a nice one to use. It's why you see loads of people creating demos of arms and legs on a stickman, because it's the easiest form of inverse kinematics. There's no unknowns. It's a solvable problem, more or less, unless it's actually intrinsically not solvable with what you're asking it to do. So we can have a look at some of the code for this, since we're actually live streaming some code. See what's going on. Bit creepy, good start. Oh, genetic algorithm optimized videos. Are they still in fashion now? So let's have a look. Basically, see, there's a lot of code here. What is all this code about? Well, of course, once I got carried away with a little spider, I then decided, is this any good? Let me just decide where I need to put this. Yeah, I think I just I might need to put in some code to actually make this work, but let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, I do need to put some code in to make this work. Where's the update function? It's different when you're doing things live, isn't it? Because you make all sorts of mistakes and forget where you are. Let's just do player.update here. Player.update f elapsed time. So I thought if I can get sort of one arm to start walking along the floor, chances are I can get all sorts of arms. So I created a very simple stick man because they're easy to sort of do, and I was curious about sort of animating it, and it's quite nice, so it can go from different poses and different states. So that's kind of the aim here, is to get something that can kind of use semi-realistic physics in order to navigate these sort of non-axis aligned terrains. And I didn't want to sort of jump into specialized tiles and handling it on a tile by tile basis. If you can come up with a nice solution that can handle this sort of environment, that's what I wanted to go for. Hold down shift. Oh yeah, so you can run. There we go. It's also quite nice because it interpolates between the states. So I've just defined sort of a walking state and a resting state. And in the resting state, you can see he's actually still breathing. And I can go into walking, and then I can go to running, which is animated slightly differently. So hopefully, once I've got my very basic creature working, I should be able to apply the same dynamics to this. So that's really what all this code is for here. So what is all the code? Well, I'll show you what some of the code actually is. I have a basic joint 2D, which is a single kinematic joint. As I've just been saying, it's entirely solvable, so you specify some constraints to it. What are the two lengths? You give it an origin and a target, and it will go away and calculate the two angles required to satisfy that joint. then most of this code is actually handling the animation of the stick figure, because the stick figure is a selection of joints in different times. And so it's just handling that interpolation. When you draw the man, here we go. So you've got to actually solve all of those kinematics as and when you need to draw him. And then there's the actual application itself, which currently is a little bit sort of abstracted from what we've just seen. So I can specify the pose of the man or the character. Now I've got some keys to handle where the ball is. And then I'm just experimenting with some of the collision detection. You'll see everywhere it is entirely all handled with Geometry 2D now. So it's not much code at all. I'll probably tidy up a lot of these things into more usable functions, and I think having this sort of 2D IK solver should also be part of Geometry 2D as well. So if you do sort of keep an eye out on these things, if you're using these libraries, you might see a few updates being pushed through to them over the course of the next week as I'm developing more of them. Can we use game engines? Yes, you can use game engines. Yes, you can. Just remember to always credit anything that you're using. Don't try and pass off other people's work as your own. That's the only rule we have. But yes, you can use game engines. It's also useful not to just submit something you've already made. One of the criteria for marking in the jam is that people will rate you based on how authentic they think your entry is. And that's really weighted heavily. So if you're sort of trying to spoof people into thinking that you've got you've done a 10-week project in the space of 9 days, you will be caught out. There is cool math for procedural animation with IK in Desmos. Can you share the code for the Stickman to see how it works? Well, over the next few days, I'll be sharing various bits, and we can talk at some length about some of these things that's going on. Thanks for all the great videos, by the way. Oh, thank you very much. Good. Yeah, I will watch this back later and try and read some of all the chats that I've missed. So, is the theme okay? I know I'll wait 6 minutes for you to answer that, but I think the theme's a reasonable one this year. Let me just make sure. Why have I got some DMs? I've got some DMs in Discord, so let me just check those. No, I don't get many DMs, so it's usually a sign that something's gone wrong. We get some calling me out on something there. Okay, yeah, full disclosure, my little man running is not the first time. Some people might have seen this. So I actually created this for, let me just pull up OBS again so I can see what's going on. I actually created this specific animated man in the console game engine a long time ago. I wasn't using it the same way. I was more interested in how several different collision circles around the man's body could be held together with springs to deform the man's overall pose. And we might do a bit of that too. But it was just a ready-to-go animation in some crude wireframe form that I've got. So yeah, no, Magetsub's quite right to be DMing me about that. Oh, yes, and good, yes, somebody has just mentioned the most important thing. We also have, this year, please don't forget, we have something called PGE Tinker. Let me go and find some PGE Tinker stuff. So I have just released a video about it, well, I say just a few weeks ago, but PGE Tinker allows you to do some of these Pixel Game Engine things in the browser already. Now, one of the things I don't know if Morris has allowed yet is, oh, this was something, yeah, what was this? Was whatever we were working on one of the live streams. So you can enter your code here and you can click play. Oh, this was the Spirograph, actually, the Spirograph code, and it will compile it and run it, and you can play with it straight away. See? Nice. It is legit. But one of the things, I don't know if Morris is listening, and I might go and pest him about it. If there's an option to download the ready-to-go package to upload onto itch, because one of the tricky things people find is actually creating the web-based versions of their applications, and we've kind of got the tool here. The only downside is, of course, everybody needs to sort of share their code in order to see it. Now, might be what Morris wants, the developer of this tool, but I thought it's also potentially it's a way of getting people to be able to upload this stuff onto itch quite easily. That's something Morris and I can fall out about later, perhaps. Right, we are at 20 past 8. So I think I'm going to call it on this particular live stream. I'm probably going to jump into the Discord at some point. That way we can sort of chat a bit more real time and I can see what other people are thinking about doing. I am going to be on and off streaming over the course of the next 9 days. So I don't know how YouTube notifies people about streams, but if there's a way you can sort of hook into that, you might see some useful stuff. If nothing else, we'll hopefully see my idea sort of develop over the next few days anyway. So, yep, the theme today is run. I now need to go and fix all of the itch.io code jam page. Thank you very much, itch. Good luck with your submissions. I think it's a good theme. I think it's an open theme, and I'm hoping to see lots of high quality entries and probably some low quality ones too. So, until next time,